Let's welcome every nation with love and pride. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome to Morocco. Bienvenue Morocco. أهلا وسهلا في المغرب. كاربوا Morocco. Welcome to Morocco. Welcome to Morocco.
Hello beautiful people, my name is Rekha Thomas and welcome back to my channel. After spending some incredible days in the blue pearl of Africa, Shashan, those dreamy blue alleys you saw in our last vlog, we continued our Morocco road trip to Fez. Fez is often called the Mecca of the West or the Athens of Africa, and honestly once you are here you will understand why. This city is not just old, it is ancient. It is Morocco's cultural capital and one of the most important centers of Islamic learning in the world. Now, Google Maps said this drive would take about 3 to 4 hours, but Google clearly forgot to include the police checkpoints, random tea stops, wait, this view is too good not to stop moments, and of course, stretching our legs for no reason at all. So yes, the journey was longer, but that's the beauty of Moroccan road trip. We found this random spot with the most beautiful frame, as my partner would say. Sheep, cows, and horses grazing in the wide green fields. It was so beautiful and peaceful, we had to stop. While we were taking pictures, a group of school kids came up to us. They said hi, wanted photos with me, and asked my partner to take their pictures when they saw his camera. We didn't even film it, we were just enjoying the moment. We only knew for a few words like salam, but honestly, smiles and gestures were enough. Sometimes travel reminds you connection does not need a common language. After that, we continued our journey, driving through the lush green fields with the sun guiding us. I loved it. We passed endless olive fields, saw shepherds walking with their sheep along the roads, and then comes the orange fields. You see them on both sides of the road with small stalls right in front selling fresh oranges. We stopped at one of these spots to try some. Some were really sweet, some not so much. The local roadside spots were very affordable, though not everything in Morocco is cheap. We passed through so many towns along the way, and some of the landscapes honestly reminded us of Iceland, Austria, and even India. The scenery keeps changing, winding valleys, hills, and open fields. Just wow. Guys, you must do a road trip here if you can. The landscapes keep surprising you. Every town feels like a new world. When you do a road trip, you don't just travel, you see the soul of the cities. You witness daily life, shops along the roadside, cooking gas transported on vehicles, and mules carrying goods, supporting agriculture. Moments like these make a road trip unforgettable. You see, feel, and experience the city. Finally, we reached Fez and parked at a parking lot near our Riad. Since it is stuck right inside the Medina, we had to walk in. We are only staying for one day, so we grabbed what we needed in a backpack and made our way through the winding streets of Fez's old city. We stayed at Riad Sitret. From the moment we stepped through the door, we were greeted with the mint tea, pastries, and the warmest smiles. After checking in, we headed to a room on the second floor, navigating through these narrow steps. The room had cute windows that gave us perfect view of the courtyard below. One thing we quickly noticed here in Fez, there are so many narrow steps to get everywhere. So what exactly is a riad? A riad is a traditional Moroccan hotel, usually a restored home built around a central courtyard. There are plenty of super fancy hotels both inside and outside the Medina, but I truly recommend staying in a traditional riad in the heart of the old city. Ours included traditional breakfast, mint tea and Wi-Fi, making it perfect base to explore Fez. These beautifully restored houses offer a peaceful escape from the Medina's hustle and bustle, often featuring rooftop terraces, intricate tilework, and warm and personal hospitality. You will never expect to find this kind of royalty and stunning architecture tucked away in the narrow alleys of the old city. Our Riyadh's decor was absolutely gorgeous, colorful mosaics, elegant arched doorways, and a tranquil garden courtyard. And don't worry, the parking lot is very close, so you can easily reach your hidden oasis in the Medina. After exploring the Riyadh, we were ready to dive into the alleyways of Fez's old city. Just like Chefchaouen, Fez has an old city and a new city. The old city called Fez el-Bali is the walled Medina founded in the 8th century, full of narrow streets, bustling souks, and the centuries of history. The new city, Fez el-Jadid, was built in 13th century and has a different vibe, with more modern streets and architecture, but still very charming. With more than 9,000 narrow alleyways, the Medina feels like a maze, and it is easy to get properly lost. Here you will see far more locals than the tourists, which makes exploring even more authentic. One of the landmarks is Bab Boujelou, the iconic blue gate of Fez el-Bali. It is beautifully decorated with the blue tiles on one side and green on the other. It's a must-see photo spot at the entrance to the old Medina. Fez is Morocco's spiritual and cultural heart, and Fez el-Bali, the old Medina, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Fez is also known as the spiritual capital of Morocco, with deep ties to Islamic scholarship. It is home to the world's oldest university, Al-Karaouine, making the city steeped in learning and history. Fez is the oldest and largest continuously inhabited medieval Medina in the world, and also the largest car-free, pedestrian-only urban area. This is where people live, work, and go about their everyday lives. The entire Medina is car-free, so you will be sharing the streets with the people, donkeys, horses, and loads of cats. It is also a great place to shop for spices, leather goods, and traditional carpets. It is easy to spend hours exploring without even noticing the time. What I love most is that the Medina hasn't been overly polished for visitors. It still feels genuine, like a place moving to its own rhythm. While wandering through the Medina and Fez el-Bali, we came across this beautiful lamp shop. The glow from the lanterns was just magical. The shop owner kindly invited us in and allowed us to take videos and pictures completely free. In many places, you might pay a few dirhams to film inside, but here, he welcomed us without asking for anything. We ended up having a lovely little conversation. He told us the show belongs to his father and now he manages it. He even mentioned that he had visited India a couple of months ago. Such a small world moment. The alleyways here are incredibly narrow and in some areas quite dark too. And honestly, Google Maps moves very slowly here, so it is best to know your direction before heading out. As we explored Fez el-Bali, we saw mules walking through the Medina. These animals are absolutely vital to daily life in Morocco. Often called the Berber 4x4, they are strong, resilient working animals that transport all kinds of goods. From fresh produce to furniture, they carry everything through the narrow, crowded alleyways where cars simply can't go. It is amazing to see how the old city still runs on traditions that have been in place for centuries. The people of Fez are called Fasi, and they are famous for their rich culinary traditions, especially the savory sweet pastilla, a flaky pie filled with the pigeon or chicken, and their unique local couscous dishes. On our way through the Medina, we came across this traditional Moroccan sand coffee spot, and it was so interesting to watch. The coffee is brewed slowly in hot sand, which heats the pot evenly and give it such a rich, strong flavor. It is one of those little cultural details that makes wandering through Fez el-Bali so special. You never know what you will stumble upon next. Fez is often called the city of 1,000 colors, largely because of its famous tanneries. One of the most unique and yes, most pungent places in Fez is the Chouara Tannery, the largest and the most famous traditional leather tannery in the city. The best views of the tannery are actually from the terraces of the leather shops surrounding it. The best time to visit is during the day when the workers are actually moving around the stone vats. It makes the whole scene feel alive. The shops in the Medina stay open late even after daylight fades, but for the tannery views, daytime is definitely better. If you want to get closer to the stonewax, that option is available too, but we didn't want to make the workers uncomfortable, so we chose to admire everything from the terrace instead. The shop locals often offer you a sprig of mint to help mask the intense smell of animal hides. Here, the leather is still made using centuries old natural methods. Fresh animal hides are first soaked in the fermented mix, which helps loosen the hair and prepare the skin. They are then cleaned, softened, and purified before heading into the dye pits. Using the vegetable tannins and natural dyes like saffron, indigo, henna, and pomegranate, artisans create Morocco's iconic colors, all without synthetic chemicals. Finally, the leather is sun-dried and handcrafted into bags, slippers, and goods found throughout the Medina, a process unchanged for centuries. Raw animal hide reborn as living leather. It was raining on and off all day, and for a short moment, it even started raining while we were on the terrace. Honestly, it just made the experience more fun. It was time for dinner, and since we didn't want to wander through the dark alleys, we headed to Dar Hamad. We tried chicken pastilla, chicken couscous, and Moroccan samosas. We loved the pastilla the most. A perfect way to end a day exploring Fez. Dar Hamad was close to Riad, so after dinner, we headed straight back to Riyadh Sidrat for a good night's sleep. We have a very long day tomorrow, so it was time to rest. It is early morning and we have almost 7 hours of driving ahead of us. Destination Merzouga. Nestled in the southeastern Morocco, Merzouga is a small remote town, but it is world famous as a gateway to the Sahara desert. When I said 7 hours, did I mention that didn't include road closures? Because yes, add at least another hour. If you are lucky, if not even more. On the way to Merzouga, we actually ran into a road closure because the road ahead of us was covered in snow, which stopped us for about an hour. By the time the sun finally came out, the roads reopened and we continued our drive right into the golden hour. Snow in the morning, desert by night, only in Morocco. On our way, we stopped at a gas station to refuel our ride. In Morocco, diesel is commonly called gas oil and petrol is known as essence. Unlike in many places, it is usually not self-service. An attendant fills up your car for you, so you just tell them which one you need. The road from Fez to Merzouga crosses Morocco's stunning Middle Atlas Mountains. Soon, we started seeing the ground dusted with snow, cedar forests turned white, mountain peaks covered in snow, and winding roads slowly disappearing under it. At one point, the road was closed for about 30 minutes, thankfully not for long. As we continued, the snow got thicker and thicker. For a moment, I honestly thought, am I back in Chicago? But even as a Chicagoan, driving through trees covered in snow felt like a dream. It was so beautiful. As we moved forward, the snow started getting thicker and soon snowfall began. Winding roads, huge mountains covered in snow on both sides, and slow-moving vehicles all around us. This snowy road trip was absolutely beautiful. Quick tip, always check the road conditions before starting this drive. We already knew about possible closures, so we added extra hours to our journey and thankfully we weren't surprised. We even saw snowplow trucks clearing the roads, slow-moving vehicles carefully navigating the icy curves. And then, just like that, everything changed. The snow disappeared, the land turned dry, rocky valleys, deep gorges, wide desert plains. It felt like we drove through 4 seasons in one day, starting with the rain, then snow, and ending under the sun. It was time to fuel up ourselves. We spotted a random bakery with the Moroccan specials and couldn't resist. We ended up buying a couple of pastries and a mezzamen. Oh my gosh, the best we had on this entire trip. So flaky, so buttery. Honestly, one of the best snacks we have had so far. With our hearts and tummies full, we continued our journey to Merzouga. If you don't want to drive yourself, multi-day desert trips can often be booked from Fez, including accommodation and transport. And yeah, for some reason, we weren't stopped by the cops at all on this long drive, which saved us some time. But just be aware of potential police checkpoints and fluctuating speed limits along the way if you're driving by yourself. One thing you will notice driving through Morocco: hitchhikers are everywhere. From mountain roads to desert highways, locals often stand by the roadside hoping for a lift to the next town. It is a common and practical way to travel, especially in rural areas where public transport is limited. Alright, before we reach Merzouga, let me share some tips and insights about Fez that I picked up during our time there. So, how many days do you need in Fez? It really depends on what you want to do. One day is enough to see the main highlights. If you want to really get lost in Medina, 2 days would be ideal. Since we are visiting several other Medinas on our trip, we decided to spend just one day here. A few tips for exploring. Shopping? Yes, haggle. Like in all Moroccan Medinas, vendors will call out to you, but everyone is super friendly. From argan oil to minty, you can go wrong. Walking? There's a lot of walking in the Medinas. Comfortable shoes are a must for uneven, hilly, and paved streets. Restaurants? Reservations are preferred, but walk-ins usually work fine in Medina spots. Cash is preferred, but in high-end restaurants in big cities like Casablanca or Marrakesh, it may require early bookings. Clothing: wear modest, loose-fitting clothing that covers shoulders and knees to respect local customs. Leather goods: Fez is famous for its leather. Sandals, bags, and jackets make great purchases. Navigation: with over 90,000 alleyways, it is easy to get lost. Know your direction or use offline maps, as Google Maps is really slow here. Yes, we finally started seeing the sand dunes. I am so excited. This has been on my bucket list for ages. And the Sahara Desert Gate, the path to our desert adventures, is right ahead. Can't wait to show you all in my next vlog. Until then, stay safe.
Time to say goodbye. Our day was great, now it's time to go home. It's getting late, we've laughed and played under the sun.